In this video, we're going to install the headlight mounting panel on this 1996 Ford F-150. Now right across the top of your grille here, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. Ours doesn't have those. Somebody's actually put in a few 1/4-inch screws here. So we're going to head and remove these 1/4-inch screws. Now when you get your screws removed, your grille will want to lean forward just a little bit. If you find the center latch here, follow it down, find your Ford emblem. Directly under that, in that vent hole, there'll be another screw holding your grille in place. We'll remove that. So now again, directly under your Ford emblem, right in here in the center of this vent, you'll see one more screw. Ours again isn't factory, ours is a 1/4-inch. You'd go ahead and remove that now. And now at this point, you should be able to work your grille right off the front of your vehicle. We're going to have to remove these 2 top Phillips screws. Now you can see what's attached and what's not. We have 2 lenses or 2 assemblies attached here. I'm going to slowly rotate and pull those assemblies forward. So now that we have our bezel leaned forward here, we have a couple of harnesses going to our bulbs. Now what we're going to do is grab a hold of our bulbs, twist, and pull out our bulbs. Now you're going to want to take note of what goes where, which one goes top, which one goes bottom. Again, twist, pull out. Also be careful not to break your bulbs. Now on the bottom here, we have a little bit of a different style plug. And again, we're going to twist and pull that right out. Okay, now go ahead and repeat for the other side. So now to remove these weather strippings here, or these rubbers, we're going to lift up and pull inward. To do that all the way across, completely remove them. And do that to the other side as well. Set them aside. So now on top of our headlights, behind this rubber weather strip that was here, we have the retaining clips for our headlights. We have one here on the inside and one just on the outside next to your fender. We're going to use a hook tool, and if you look down in there, you'll see 2 little wings with holes on them. We're going to grab a hold of one of those sides and pull up. You're going to move over to the other side, grab a hold, and pull up. All right, so there's your clip. This is what's holding it in place. We'll do the same thing. See the outside clip here? There's your clip on the outside. Okay, now on our bottom, if you follow your adjustment bar all the way down, you'll see one more point of contact, and you'll have one more clip right inside here. That clip's going to be removed the same way the other ones were. See if you can grab a hold of that and pull it straight up. Now with all 3 clips removed, we can grab a hold of our headlight, pull it straight out, and for us, our plug just popped right off. All right, typically what you would do is spin this open, and pull straight back and remove your headlight. Okay, now go ahead and repeat for the other side. So now to remove this black panel, we have a couple of bolts here. We have 1, 2 on the side, and then a few more going towards the center. They're going to be 5/16. We'll remove these now. One right here. one in the center. Now right about here on the inside of where your headlight would be, wrapped around this black panel, we have two more bolts going out towards the passenger side. And if you look right up above that one, you have one more. Okay, so now on the driver's side, inside of your headlight, you have the same two bolts facing outward. On the driver's side on the bottom though, you have this air intake tube. It's a little flexible. We're going to take advantage of that. I'm going to come in here with a wrench, or a ratchet rather. Break these free. So now let's go ahead and take out our hardware here for our headlight bezel and our grille. I'm just going to use a small flathead screwdriver and just pop these right out. While we're here, we go down below. There's one in the center. Back up top. So on this side, driver's side, we have two more bolts. And down below. So now this panel will be able to come out. Again, you're going to have to work around this bottom filler piece here, so you'll have to lift up. And over this filler piece. Once you get one side out, take it about this far, and then we can remove these two retainers here for these bolts. All right, so you have these two here that we'll remove. All right, so just prying them open and sliding them back. We have four of these, two on each side. So these are our two clips here that we're going to remove. Small flathead pocket screwdriver. Come in from the back, just pry these open, push them out. Now with those removed, we can take this panel right out. So now before we put our new piece in place and start to bolt it in, we're going to need to transfer over 4 pieces of hardware. They're going to be these clips here that receive the bolts that go through on the inside. So we'll need to put these in place by just pushing them right over the holes, lining them up the best we can. Once we start to put bolts in there, we'll line them up a little bit better, but getting them in before we push this back into place is key. We'll do that on the other side. So this one's been opened just a little too much. I'll squeeze that closed if you need to. A pair of pliers to squeeze that. Still a little loose. Just grab a pair of pliers and just squeeze this closed. Okay, with those 4 installed, we can now start to put this in place. All right, now we'll take our new panel. We're going to angle it down and inside of this bottom piece here. We're also going to watch out for this pin on the side to make sure it lines up right in there where it needs to be. And we might move it a little bit here or there because we still do have to get the driver's side in place, but ultimately that's where you want that pin to be and these 2 studs to come through. All right, so that's passenger side in. We'll move over to the driver's side and do the same. All right, now on the driver's side, we'll do the same thing. All right, you just want to work across here and make sure all your key points are lining up where they need to be. Mainly all your bolt holes. Everything looks pretty good at this point. Give it another look around the sides, make sure those pins are set in. These will be the 2 first bolts that we put in on both sides right here. Okay, so on the driver's side, we'll put these 2 bolts in first. And what this will help do is keep this panel in place while everything else gets worked out. We know these pins and this panel won't shift around. All right, now on the passenger side, the same 2 bolts. Okay, so right here, another bolt. Okay, so we're going to put our hardware back on now. We're short 1. Our vehicle never came with 1 for here. So during this process, we'll see if we can find another one. But for now, we'll return the ones that we have onto the new part. From here, we'll go straight down. There's one in the center on the bottom. So down here in the bottom of where your grill sets, you'll have a couple of open tabs, one on each side. Your grill has a couple of matching tabs, one on each side. You should also have some rubber isolators that'll stop your grill from rattling around in there, hard plastic on hard plastic, making noise. You'll notice that the isolator has a little notch in it. That notch is going to go to the front of your grill. Once you have those in place, you're just going to rotate your grill right into those openings or those tabs, and then slide your grill forward and onto your top lip here. Once you have that in place, we did find some matching screws. We can go ahead now and tighten down our grill. We'll put all 4 screws in place, start these by hand, and come back and tighten them down. We have 4 across the top, and then 1 down underneath our emblem. You're going to take your bulb. If you look inside here, you'll see 3 notches. You'll find 3 notches around the inside, top side of your headlight. And again, a side note, when dealing with headlight bulbs, or any bulb for that matter, try not to touch the glass with your bare hands. Your oil will reduce the life of the glass and the bulb. So once we find those notches, we're going to line them up, and we're going to seat our bulb all the way in. Just check around this rim here to make sure it's fully seated. Once you have it fully seated, we're going to take our sleeve here, which is actually our lock. We're going to find these 3 notches, and we're going to align them with the back 3 notches on our headlight. We're going to press in, and we're going to turn to lock. Now what that'll do is lock your bulb into the headlight assembly and get ready for the plug. Now the plug is just going to plug and push straight on and clip in. Once you have that clipped in, then we can align these 3 points of contact into our header panel here and get ready for some clips. This bar is actually your headlight aiming bar. We're going to lean this in. There's a little cutout right on the bottom here, and a little U-shaped cutout right across the top on this black header panel. We're going to aim this bar up through that cutout and up into the top cutout, and then we can align our 3 points of contact here and push straight in. Now we're going to have to push these all the way in because we're going to take our retaining clips and slide them down into this groove on the other side, or the back side of the header panel. So when we have these pushed all the way in, we'll take our clips and we'll slide them into those grooves. And what that's doing is locking in that tab. We'll do that for the other 2. So now right here we have our top inside clip here. You can see that the groove that we need to slide this clip into is set back a little bit. So we're going to have to push our headlight in to reveal that groove that our clip is going to slide into to lock it into place. And then just push down. And that's it. There'll be 1 more down the side. Okay, now our bottom outside clip in the back here, you're going to access it through this open hole. It's going to be a little tricky. If you drop this clip, most of the times you can find it down here or underneath this header panel. You want to slide that straight down. And again, to help yourself get this aligned and in, you want to make sure that this black piece here is fully pushed in and flat against your header panel. That'll allow that groove to be easily accessible. And just take your clip, push it straight down and in. So now we're going to take our parking bulb here, put it into place, find those locating tabs, push in and twist to lock in place. We're going to move on to the other bottom bulb, do the same thing. We'll find the locking tabs and we'll push in and twist to lock. Again, the same thing on the top. And twist to lock. Once you have your 3 bulbs in, I'm going to move that harness slightly out of the way. We have 2 tabs on the inside of our bottom parking light that we're going to have to align with our header panel. And once you align those 2 tabs on the bottom, push straight in. And you should be aligned up top for your 2 Phillips screws. We can go ahead and tighten those down. On the top here, you'll see a notch on this side, on the inside. You want to make sure that your bezel is all the way up against that notch and tighten it down. So now that you have your bezel installed, you're going to need to aim your headlights. To aim your headlights, you're going to use this bar right here that we aimed in to this little cutout. You're going to twist this one way to raise and twist it the other way to lower. There is a special Ford tool that will fit on here, and it'll allow you to turn that, either to raise or lower. This one here, you should be able to do it by hand, but you'll definitely want to align your headlights if you have removed your headlight and reinstalled for any reason. So now to wrap up our install here, we're going to put our weather stripping in place. So weather stripping has a channel that's going to go right onto this piece. We're just going to push it in all the way down. Now right about here, what you may want to do is grab a flathead and just lift that up over. And you can slide this all the way down. Just watch out for this area here where it's going to meet up against. Just come back, give it a good pull in. And that's it. We'll move on to the other side. And now the other side, we do it the same way.
Now we're going to get the vehicle ready to aim the headlights. Start with the tire pressure, making sure all 4 tires are set at the appropriate pressure. Remove any excessive weight that's not normally in the vehicle. Find a wall that you can drive up to where the ground is level. Measure 25 feet away from that wall and mark the ground. Drive your vehicle up to that mark. With the headlights off, look for the center dot in the headlight lens. Measure from the ground to that center dot. You can use a ruler to help you out. Transferring that measurement to the wall, making a mark with some tape. On the driver's side, measure down 4 inches, putting another piece of tape. For the passenger side, you only need to measure down 2 inches. Now turning the headlights on, it is easier to do this at night or in a dark area. Locating your headlight adjuster and using a Phillips head screwdriver, turn your adjuster one way or another to bring the headlight up or down. Once the headlight is adjusted to the tape mark on the wall, move on to the next headlight. If you're confused because the beams seem to blend together, you can always have someone stand in front of the other headlight while you make your adjustments for that one. Now your headlights are aligned and you're all set to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.